let's talk a little bit of sport. And as you know, I'm a bit of a tennis fan. And I was kind of hoping on Friday that the interview I'm about to do now would be all about good oldie, or old by tennis standards guy coming back and proving he still got it. It didn't work out that way. But it was still an exciting tournament, one of the majors, the first major of any tennis year, the Australian Open. And covering it for, I don't know how many time, it was Dave Worsley who joins us on the line now. Dave, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, thanks, Sean. A little bit tired, but these things happen.
How many Aussie Opens you done?
26.
Jeez, that is going back. Look, I was hoping Djokovic would get up, but the old body let him down. How badly?
Yeah, badly enough that he actually posted the MRI scan of his, abdomen strain, or no, was it? No, it was actually his leg strain. Sorry.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries around. He actually posted that online to, just, I guess, quell the people who suggested that perhaps he's done this sort of thing before, played through injuries, apparent injuries, and won. So there's always a little doubt, like, oh, you had an injury last time, but you still managed to win. I always have a thing with that, is that I don't know someone's body, so if they say they're injured, I have to take them on
that's
their word.
That's their call. Yeah, that's their call, absolutely.
Although
it would be fair to say, though, Djokovic has had a love-hate relationship with the Australian Open and the Australian fans, and happened this year, he wouldn't give an interview because someone from Channel 9 had said something mean about him, and, of course, the Aussies love to hate him, or some of them do.
Well, I mean, he's won it 10 times, so you have to give him respect for that. I mean, that's pretty amazing in itself. And then, obviously, there was the incident back in 2021, 22.
With COVID?
About, I mean, that wasn't his fault at all. He was advised by the tournament, which got it wrong. And then that was a major stuff-up completely. So, look, he got booed off the court after his injury, which was unfortunate because, I mean, you boo a 10-time champion because he's injured, his leg's about to fall off, he can't play anymore. That sort of shows a little bit of, I guess, people with who paid a lot of money wanted more tennis. That's great, but when you go to a sporting event, you're not guaranteed, certainly in tennis, how long a match
you're not
will
in
be.
the Coliseum. You're not waiting for someone to die like they're a gladiator, are you, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. So there's that sort of thing there. But look, why he was upset with Channel 9 was because their presenter had been an absolute cringeworthy jerk. And it just been like, seriously? You put this guy on air? It was fair enough in that case. The guy had been pretty much saying Serbians suck, and so do you.
Yeah. All right. So we end up with Zverev and Jannik Sinner in the final. And Sinner, boy, he's on form, isn't he?
Yeah, yes. I mean, he was the number one seed. He'd won the US Open as well. He'd won the Aussie Open last year. Hard courts just seemed to be his thing. And he was superb. He really had an answer for everything. The key thing for him was he was able to lift the intensity as things got tight. So each time take it to another level. And Zverev playing very well to make the final, but Sinner just playing too well. They had a very close first set, obviously. Second set, and just started to move away from Zverev, with Sinner, had a reply to pretty much everything.
Yeah. It seems to me, Nadal gone, Federer gone, Djokovic still there. We're having a generational change, Dave. Is Sinner the guy who's going to be the next superstar? Is he basically moving quietly into that position of being one of the ascendant players of the new generation?
Quite possibly. I mean, there are times when it goes through waves where maybe there's a couple of years here or there that you don't have too many people dominating, and it's just sort of randomness. And that's what happened after Pete Sampras retired. We had Leighton Stewart, Andy Roddick won one slam. I think you had, just a few other players sort of hanging around. Then suddenly we had Federer coming through, then Nadal, then Djokovic, and that dominated for so long. You've got to remember they've dominated for 20-odd years almost.
Yes.
And it's quite phenomenal. And now they're gone, albeit that Djokovic is still playing. He did kind of lead to it could be his last Australian Open. But, 37 years old, and the way he plays, he's down on the court for a long time. It's phenomenal with his training. But I do believe that Sinner is the players who take over as such. Zverev's had his opportunity, and he's 3 times runner-up now. There are some younger players coming through. Ben Shelton being one of them. There's João Fanesca. He's a Brazilian player who's only 18, who's phenomenal as well. There's quite a number of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
Right. As we look for that next collection for the next generation, I guess, of GOATs. On the women's side of the draw, Madison Keys wins through. Are they in a similar position where no one's super dominant right now, Dave?
Well, Sabalenka, you could say, is dominant as such. Took over the number 1 ranking from Iga Swiatek. She won the US Open and was two-time defending champion here in Melbourne. Could have, should have, maybe won the tournament, that final. But Madison Keys showed something that, well, she stepped up a little bit. In the past, she's almost been too nice. But, boy, did she hang around and play so well and put the pressure back on Sabalenka, who sprayed a few shots in that final and needs to probably, to my mind, have a game, have a B plan, have a second plan. Rather than hitting every ball as hard as possible, be able to stay in the rally a bit longer, vary her play. So I think we've got potentially...
And she was only 19th seed going into this, wasn't she? Madison Keys, yeah. I mean,
well, she made the quarterfinals in Auckland, won Adelaide, which was a tough tournament, and then obviously won Melbourne. So her form for the year is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Where do they all go off to next? Where does the circus touch down next, Dave?
Well, there's already tournaments been played in Linz in Europe, one in Singapore for the women. The men, some of them play Davis Cup or take a week off. Basically, everyone scatters around the world. One thing we should point out, Sean, is a bit of that wave, because there is the wave of young and rising players. There's only one teenager in the women's top 100. There's a whole heap in the men. So it's quite strange. Usually we've been used to lots of teenagers in the women's rankings, but at the moment there's only one of them in the women's top 100.
Wow. Dave, always lovely talking tennis with you. You've done it so long, mate. Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
No worries, Sean. Thank you.
Cheers. Dave Worsley, look, just one of the best tennis correspondents around, and as he said, he's done a few. He's covered a few matches. I wonder his neck. He's got incredibly strong neck muscles from just flicking his head back and forth all the time. As you know, I'm a bit of a tennis nut.